There must be lights burning brighter somewhere. Got to be birds flying higher in a sky more blue.
Good morning. Welcome to Right Thinking with Steve Coplon. I'm your host, Steve Coplon, and thank you for tuning in. Let's have a great day.
I hope you like Elvis. I just want to get started and tell you something that's the most basic way that I can deliver what my message is. And I can't say it any better, but I can tell you, if you live your life like this, everything's going to be just fine. And here it is. With the Holy Spirit from the heart. And that's my message, and I appreciate you for listening to that. God gave me this assignment, so I know it's going to succeed. I'm very comfortable about today. The picture that's going to be on the website, that is on the website that you might have gone to click into the show, it's very special to me. My wife, Donna, took the picture. I'm wearing the suit that I wore at my daughter Lindsay's wedding 2 weeks ago. And if you look at the mantle on the fireplace, there's a rose there, and my mother's name was Rose. So I just want to tell you, let's all smell the roses. I want to thank all my friends for taking the time to tune into this today and to be there, whether you're going to do it live or whether you're going to do it in the archives. I hope that all of you find today's show interesting, inspirational, and motivational. I want you all to know that I did not get here by myself, that it's only because of all of you that I'm able to be here today with this show. Thank you very much. Hey, let's just get started with today's guest. When he comes on with his show, he says, I hope I do this justice, I'm a motivator, a leader, and a communicator. And boy, oh boy, he's all of that. When Richard Kay introduced me to him, I was literally completely overwhelmed. Jeff Heiser is the founder of Talk Network Radio. He's a veteran. And Jeff, I want to thank you for your service and for your son's service. He's a nationally famous motivational speaker. He's an incredibly successful businessman. But more important than that, he's a family man, he's a friend of many, and a man who knows God. It is my esteemed honor and privilege to be here today on this show on Jeff's network and be part of this network with all the other hosts that are doing so much to encourage others and help other people have a better life. I would like to, at this time, introduce you to Jeff Heiser. Good morning, Jeff.
Hey, Steve. Thanks for having me. Boy, that I didn't know that that's where I fit. That was some introduction. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's very good to hear that sometimes. Sometimes, you don't get to hear that kind of stuff quite as often as you'd like to hear. So thank you so much for having me here, and thank you for that great introduction.
Hey, it's my pleasure, Jeff. And hey, as we know, this is my first time. This is the first broadcast of a show that I plan to do for the rest of my life, and I thank you for this opportunity. But I hope you don't mind that the way that I've set it up today. It's like the student interviewing the mentor, the teacher. I'm going to take advantage of you if you'll let me.
Everybody does. So have at it.
That's good. That's good. So what I really want to do today is a couple things. One thing is that I want to learn a lot from you on how to be a great talk show host like you all. I think that's one thing that we need to do today, because no matter how good my message is, if I can't get it out there properly, it's not going to last for very long. So let me just start off. Anything you want to tell me just as we get started so that I can ease into this properly?
Well, there's a lot of things that I can tell you, but the most important thing that I'm going to tell you, and it applies to everybody that's listening, is that if you don't take the step you never get to where you want to be. So for you, Steve, we've been communicating for weeks and weeks, probably months now. And I think when we first talked and you were talking about it, I said, just take the step, man. Just, if you're going to do it. Go out there, make yourself a demo or, do a recording, see what you think, and go ahead and get started. The other thing is that, you have to believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you, right? So you have to believe in yourself that you can do this, or you are who you are. And the last thing is you just need to keep doing it. You can't just, in the beginning it's going to be a little shaky, a little rough, maybe a little rough around the edges. But as time goes on, you'll get better and better and better. And that's the same thing with anything. That's the same thing with what you do with the people that you talk to about becoming financially better off. They have to practice what you preach, right? Right? I mean, if they don't, they don't ever get that opportunity to realize the things that you're teaching actually work, right? So,
oh, yeah.
So what I'm saying to you is just practice. And actually, one last thing, and this is coming from one of my mentors, and his name is Paul Martinelli, and he told me very, very, very early on, jump and you'll grow your wings on the way down. And that's the same thing as taking that step. For the people that you have listening that are experiencing some difficulties, you got to take a step out of the comfort zone that you're in, just like Steve has done, because if you don't, you're going to wind up staying in that comfort zone. It's going to hurt. You're going to have a lot of pain. It's going to continue to be like that until you take the step that will change your life.
That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. And I'll tell you, when I'm trying to be there for other people, one of the things that I share is that every time you experience a success, it's going to be there for you to grow on, and you can remember that, I can get through this. It's, you start to build a confidence in yourself that's necessary, of course, but yeah, you got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to get out there and do it. That's very interesting, Jeff. Hey, I got to ask you now, though. You, in my mind, are as good as anybody that I've come across at being dedicated to want to help other people. By the way, I just want to hit it out real quick. The theme of this show, the purpose of this show, is it's for people that are experiencing hardship of any kind, that need some encouragement and some support, to know that there's some people out there to help them. And for people that might not feel that they're experiencing hardship, but that just also have a desire to want to help those people that are. In other words, it's like, let's just help each other. So with that said, you've done so much, Jeff. And over the last 4 months, I've listened to maybe 20 of your broadcasts. I've gotten to know you pretty good. I listened to Susan Brender's interview of you when you told a whole lot about where you come from and how you got to be where you're at. So the people that are listening to my show today, they haven't had the benefit of getting to know you like I have. I've made a study out of you, Jeff. I know what you look like.
That's scary.
I know where you live. So with that said, can you tell us more? Well, more for me, but can you tell basically how you got to be who you are? Not your whole life story, but the part. When did you make up your mind that you want to dedicate yourself after such an amazing career, a globetrotter, military, everything? When did you make up your mind that what you really, really want to do is help other people have a better life?
Well, that's been going on a good part of my life. But The real part to this, okay, that really made up my mind was an experience that I had with my son. And my oldest son was in the military. He was in for 13 years. His ship was the first ship out after 9/11. They were out for a very long time, and he came back a different person, a very different person. And after his third deployment, he had some very traumatic issues that he had to deal with himself, and it was a frightening time for all of us. And then we were taking him back up to be deployed again to a place called Beaufort, South Carolina. We pull on the base, and when we pull through, I noticed this place it was like the headquarters, and it had all these chairs that were set up and a podium, and it looked really cool. And I said to my son, man, look, see, I told you they would have something for you guys at least once on one of these deployments that you go on. And he said, no, Dad, you really don't understand. And I said, what? You know what? They're going to have you going away for you. He said, no, that is set up for the memorial service for the Marine that hung himself in the tree right there last week. He was 21 years old. And it just hit me. And it was like, you know, I got to start talking about this stuff, because I suffered with post-traumatic stress disorder, and I had an experience in 1993 where I had to make a choice in my life. I sat on my bed, and it was either I continue on or I leave this world. And I decided that I was going to continue on, but I really didn't do anything. You know, I didn't say anything. So when this happened, I decided I have to start really talking about some of this stuff and helping these people that need to understand that there is hope. There's things that you can do in this world that will change your life, that will change your outcome. And it's something that I've been living with all my life. Basically, it's you either do it and see what happens, or you don't and never get to talk about it. So we made a short movie. It's called Return But No Escape. It's won quite a few awards. And that got me on a circuit to go speak all over the country. And that was back in 2010. And then it's been going on and on and on and on, speaking. And I realized that some of the things that I'm saying actually are helping people. I mean, I was at one speaking event where I saw this gentleman, and he had lost his he had some things wrong with him that were very obvious. It happened to him when he was 18. And basically, I saw him at the thing, at this show that I was doing. And, he talked to me for a few seconds. That was it. 2 months later, in 2 states over, this guy is in the audience again. And so after the show, I walk up to him. I said, I really appreciate you being here, man, but this stuff is kind of, I don't know. And he said, no, you don't understand. You just don't understand. He goes, when I listened to you that day when I saw you up in Spokane, I came that day to take my life in the parking lot. And because of what I heard from you, I'm here today to say thank you. And, life can do that to you, man. Life can get to you where you think that you only have 2 choices. And life is all about choices. I mean, that's what it is. You either make a choice or you don't make a choice. But whatever you do, it's based on a choice. And so when you get into these situations and you get yourself into a bad situation, it's based on a bad choice, right? If you make a good choice or you are in a good situation, it was based on a good choice. And you don't make good choices, bad choices, it just happens, right? So that's what really got me going. I mean, after that, it was like, I definitely have to do this. And then it was like one after the other, people at different things